Gentlemen, real quick, before we get into the video, please consider joining the second collision course. This is going to be on March 16th, 1 p.m. Eastern time on a Saturday. I don't know if I said Saturday or not, but it's on a Saturday. Sign up, guys. We got a small little prize pool. There's just something for the subs, for the guys over in the Discord. Please consider signing up. It's free. Battlefied link will be in the description or in the comments. See you boys there. Enjoy the video. Peace! Yo, what's going on, everybody? Collision Works here. Welcome back to another kind of shorter guide for you all today, guys. We are going to be going over my handful selected favorite kind of runs. We did have a gentleman request a kind of run-heavy focused offense here recently. This is not going to be that video, but it did kind of inspired me to go ahead and throw this short one together just so you guys can see what I'm running. I know in the gameplays you guys see me run a lot of RPOs, primarily because here in the spread playbook you have a huge variety of RPOs, and where they really shine is when you're going up against the baseline dollar press meta, and basically that's what we're seeing every single snap. So I'm going to go ahead and just run over which run calls we are selecting, and then I'll go ahead and put timestamps here on the video timeline. You guys can skip ahead or whatever, come back, and you guys can check them out. So to begin, as you guys know, the doubles Y flex is my standard primary go-to offensive formation. But when I select this, I'm always audibling to the spread for my runs, or the spread halfback week, and then if I'm looking for more deep bomb plays, I'll audible to the spread flex. If you are someone who is in my CFMs trying to beat me, this is very key knowledge for you to know. Okay, so basically doubles Y flex, I'm not calling any run plays in here. Spread halfback week, RPO read bubble here is one of the best RPOs in the game. Another one which I will confidently say is the best RPO in the game, or one of them, is going to be the trio offset week RPO bubble. I call these two a lot. I haven't called this trio one in a while just because I've kind of left this formation, but when I was running this offense, I called it a lot. Loved it. One of the best RPOs in the game. And then, of course, as you guys know, once I get down into the red zone, typically I will select, if I'm kind of going up against somebody who's really good on defense, I'll go ahead and select Y trips offset. We call it U trips 2.0 here on the channel, just so you guys know what we're referring to. But here in this offense, you guys are going to see that the RPO read Y flat is one of the best red zone RPOs, and no one runs it but me. Like, yo, I swear, really no one does. I've never seen this one ran before, but you guys have seen it when I hit Kittle in the 49ers CFM videos. This play's amazing. We're going to be covering this one as well. And then here on the left side of the play call sheet, the bubble Y pop is a phenomenal one, especially for running the ball as well. And we'll talk about that specifically against DB fire. There's one more in here. Yeah, the speed option here in the red zone as well. I love speed option. This play, you can flip it to the left with the right stick if you guys want to go to the left. And it's great when you're doing... it's great when you're doing the hurdle pitch option. So that's pretty much the three major ones I run here for the Y trips offset. I have really tried to run the power O, the counter tray in game. I've loaded it up against the computer and tried to run it. I just don't have any luck with it. Maybe if you have abilities, if you're a computer CFM guy, you're just playing franchise for fun, if you get pulling elites and things like that, these might be good for you. But I know I'm pretty sure a main part of my audience is more of the PvP comp types. I wouldn't recommend those. And then finally, guys, of course, you can't really talk about the spread playbook without mentioning the slot offset. Now, we've talked about how to defend this. I know definitely on the Discord. I think I may have made a video on it on YouTube as well. So I don't ever really fear this offense. I always feel very confident really against any RPO and blocking them, and I will talk about how to guard them as well in this video. But of course you have the RPO peak zone bubble, which is phenomenal, and then of course you have the RPO read bubble, which is just a kind of a mirrored version of it. So both really good plays. I know that obviously there's so many different sets here in this offense, and I am missing so many RPOs that I could add to my arsenal. But guys, these are the ones that I have ran a lot, and I will say it as humbly as I can, I've ran these against a lot of good players, a lot of top competition. So I feel very good about sharing them to you guys as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting into it. If you guys want to go ahead and skip ahead or whatever, like I said, I will have timestamps. I just wanted to make sure we went over which ones I'm using these for, just so you guys know what you are getting into. Let's go ahead and begin, fellas. Alrighty, guys. So like I was saying, when I'm calling my offense, doubles Y flex is always going to be my base formation. And then I'll go ahead and select my audibles here for the spread halfback week. And then all I do is just simply throw an RPO read bubble. And then here on spread flex, this isn't even a running formation. I just like to call shallow cross for my baseline press beaters. Sorry, I wanted to throw that in there just so you guys know. But basically, guys, what we have here with the spread halfback week, this is going to be phenomenal here. Let's go ahead and call fork wheel, and then I'll go ahead and select DB fire, and I'll go ahead and put the start with FS zone blitz. So if somebody sets up this defense here, as you guys see, if we have a base look, I'll go ahead and reset, and I go ahead and audible to the RPO zone bubble. You guys see, when you are running these RPOs, these pass option icons here by the safety are the most important things. Now, if they are in a normal baseline, sometimes you're going to see that the pass key is going to be the slot corner. So if I audible to like cover 2, right? And you guys see, okay, let me go ahead and try to fix this. That way it's like a normal set. So you guys see right here, this slot corner is our pass read option. We cannot throw this ball if we see that this is taking place. But typically, guys, when you are going up against someone who is running, for example, the free safety zone blitz, where they're pressing, they're pinching, they're putting guys in coverage, they're hovering, you guys are going to see when I go and show my play on offense now, the pass option is over the top. When this is the case, if they haven't made any other adjustments, you can always throw this this option throw to Samuel, and you'll never get it picked. And like I said, this is if they are actually running, you know, a base kind of zone coverage. They're not manning extra guys up and creating a strong, you know, look over there on defense. If we see this read icon for the read option, we can throw this every single time. Now, this is great against people who are spamming A-gap blitzes, which is why I have so much success with this offense with my RPOs. I don't run them all the time. I really do feel confident with my passing attack. So I'm not always running the ball, but when I do, I can always guarantee no matter how long I need to hold this guy's going to get open. The main thing you guys need to know about running an effective RPO offense is knowing that you need to hold the ball longer to get the good animation. As you guys see right here, even though this guy is the read option key, he does hesitate, but he will never play the ball. Now, since I know that, since I know he's the read option key, I'm going to hold this as long as I can, throw it late, and then you guys see I get this beautiful rack animation to go ahead and get upfield. If I had a little hezzy, a little stop, and then get a block, and then I can cut right, it just opens a huge door for us. So make sure you guys are aware of these pass read icons. So again, if I wanted to call DB fire here, and I go ahead and set up this blitz, I go and do the whole thing. You guys see, if I go ahead audible again to the RPO bubble, when they start pressing and pinching their D-line, the pass icon will convert to the safety. It will not stay in the slot. And listen, what's nice about these icons is that they are here whenever you hold the right trigger. You don't need to hold any other like left trigger and be like on defense. This is going to be here before you snap it. So just know, no matter what type of dollar they're in, you can hold this and then just go ahead and dump it off if you see that pass read icon is over the top at that safety. Now, with that pass icon in mind, guys, I want to talk about why I think the trio offset week has one of the best in the game. Now, if we go up against the free safety blitz yet again, I want you guys to see the numbers that we have in this situation, where if they go ahead and pinch and they set it all up, they go ahead and put their guy over the top like this. You guys see now, that pass icon is over the top, and now we have two blockers. So if we go ahead and snap this ball here, we wait, we go ahead throw, and then we go ahead and make a move. This is going to be one of the best as well. And this is going to be against various looks. If I go ahead and go to, let's say, big dime or dime, yeah, I'll just select dime here. I'll do, well, cover 2 isn't exactly something you'd want to run an RPO against. That would be a decent coverage against it. But if I go ahead and just do like palms, and then I go ahead and come out here in the RPO read bubble, you guys see if they go ahead and set up their defense here. Against palms, you may not see a press exactly. It's kind of going to be a little different depending on how your defense is, or how your opponent's adjusting his defense. But you guys see when that pass icon is over the top, you guys are always going to have a really, really good RPO going. Now listen, if they are having their pass icon, let's say they don't pinch their D-line, right? And they're going to stay kind of in this thing. This is when you're just going to have to kind of say, all right, I'm going to have to go and take my run here and then just try and get short yardage and then go back to my pass. You know, so this is going to be, you know, for me, I'm targeting these RPOs a lot more against dollar, because typically in dollar, there's more guys in coverage. It opens up the run attack and the RPO attack. Something like a 4-man rush, I'm typically going to be passing more against, just because there's less guys in coverage. So that's just how I run my offense. I love this play call. I don't really run it much anymore, but in my opinion, it's definitely in the top 2 of best in the game because it's versatile against so many different defensive formations. And if you guys are struggling against this type of RPO, I'll go ahead and discuss the trio offset one just because I do believe that is one of the better RPOs in the game. We'll go ahead and talk about how I like to cover these. This is also going to be great if you guys are going up against the bunch strong RPO, which is probably the most common RPO. But you guys can use this defense against the bunch strong RPO, and you guys are going to see it's one of the best adjustments you guys can make. So we'll go ahead and call the free safety zone blitz here, just because it's simple. We'll go ahead, press, pinch our line like we normally would. My defense, I'm typically putting Ronnie Lott in a deep half. This is just me. I know 99% of the other guys use vertical hooks. I put them in a deep half. We'll go put them in a vertical hook for this breakdown. But guys, what we're going to be doing here is after we have set up our blitz, we're going to go ahead and shift our linebackers to the RPO side. Okay. So for this instance, since the trips and the RPOs on the left, we're going to go ahead shift left. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, take that blitzer. We're either going to man him up to X or B. I typically like to do to the blocker that's furthest to the sideline. That's just how I like to run mine. We're going to go ahead and hover, blitz our user, and you guys are going to see now we're going to have a gap shoot, and we're going to be able to go ahead and defend this RPO, because now you see with this adjustment, we've changed our passer icon, and we have we're basically matching bodies. They have 3, we have 3, and we know that this option, this RPO, is leading with that bubble, so we can go ahead and use this man defender to kind of meet him to the outside. So I'll go ahead and try and run the ball here and show you guys how we can play that and how we can gap shoot to go ahead and block, or I'm sorry, beat the blockers and get to the running back. And then I'll go ahead and show you guys what this is going to look like if they were to throw the ball. So go ahead, cut, or I don't even need to. It's honestly pretty quick, and you guys can crash or do whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it base as is for this video. But you guys see again with this adjustment, the passer icon's now in the slot. If they try and go ahead, wait and throw this, we have guys right there waiting for them, and we're going to be in good shape. Now right here, you guys saw that the guy who's manned up came back into the attack. If this is the case, he's too close inside the box, and that's where I messed up. So if that is becoming a problem for you, as you can see, I'm a little rusty with this setup, not breaking that down beforehand. But if that is the case, just get him further outside the box, and then he won't go in with the blitzer pursuit. So you guys will see again, if we go ahead and run this, you guys see he's going outside with him, and he's there to make a tackle. Sorry I didn't mention that, just it went over my head not thinking about it. But if he is attacking the run, just know you just need to manually push him out a little further. I think honestly on the short side of the field that may not be a problem, so if they were to run something like that, you may not need to manually move him over, but just in case, we'll go ahead and show it to you guys just so you guys know exactly what's going on, just so this stuff doesn't burn you. Yeah, okay, so go ahead and manually bring him out. As you guys see, because we have the passer icon there, we're still having great defense, but if you want to make sure that that manned up DB does not go back in for the run, or I'm sorry, linebacker, make sure you guys are just manually pushing him out further so he gets outside of the attacker box, and he'll devote to that assignment. All right, guys, now since we've talked about the trio offset and the spread halfback weak bubble, I want to go ahead and talk about my red zone runs. This is something that you can do really anywhere on the field. Like I said earlier, this just happens to be something I like to call when I try to shake up the looks deep down the field inside that scoring area of the field. So like we mentioned, one of our main plays is going to be the RPO bubble Y pop. Now another one is going to be the speed option. And then finally, the last one is going to be right here, the RPO read Y flat. Now I want to talk about this against something like cover 2 with DB fire, things we see a lot in the red zone. So I'll go ahead and come out here in the bubble Y pop, and then we'll go ahead and talk about DB fire and even just a simple cover 2 here in the red zone. Now, just keep in mind, all of my values here in the coaching adjustments are set to default. I'll go ahead and do default zone as well, just for the sake that we are going up against something like cover 2. So just keep this in mind. All right, fellas, so I am actually recording this like the next day, so if my rhythm is a little out of sorts, I do apologize. We're going to get back into the swing of this recording. Now, like we talked about, the read Y flat, the speed option, the bubble Y pop are my go-to runs, especially here in the red zone out of the U trips, and I wanted to talk about how I approach using them. Now, in my personal opinion, I think some of the best, easiest base setup defenses you can do to guard against these are probably going to be a cover 2, and that's what we are going to talk about going up against. We're going to be talking about going up against stock cover 2, like cover 2 press, as well as DB fire. Now, DB fire, when you're blitzing the edge, this can give you problems in the run game, but I want to talk about how we can counter that using jukebox primarily. You don't need it, but definitely makes life easier. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start here with the cover 2 press, and we're going to be going over the bubble Y pop to begin. Now, like I said, I think this is one of the easier ways to just simply, if you don't know how to stop the RPO, go about guarding it. So that's why we're electing to do this coverage first. If I can find my play, here we go. Now, guys, like I said, I'm going to back this up a little bit to around where I think I left off last time, around the 12. What we're going to do, and what's very important when you're going up against these defenses, is knowing your timing of throwing your option throw. So like I said earlier in the video, if you want the best possible rack animation, you're going to want to hold the ball longer and throw the ball later. Okay, this is going to give your receiver an easier chance to catch it and then get upfield. He's not going to do that weird spin animation. We're going to see that more in the Y flat. Before the bubble, like I said, we're just going to snap the ball. We're going to kind of wait for MVS here to kind of get in position to block for us, and then we'll go ahead and throw this ball. He'll get that chip, and then more often than not, we're going to be in prime position to get upfield. Now, a nice little trick, this is going to be great for RPOs and even throwing baseline press bombs, is if you want to see more of the field, you guys know how you hold right trigger, you guys can see the DBs and then you let off, it zooms in. What you're going to do to keep it kind of slightly zoomed out is press Y and then cancel it with right stick. And you guys see how the screen stays out a little longer. This is what I like to do before I snap these throws. That way I can read the DBs here on this throw. So if I go ahead and press Y, right stick, and then snap, my screen zooms out a little bit and it stays like that, and it's easier for me to read if that corner is going to go and play my option or not. So just keep this in mind. This is going to save you from so many picks, especially when your opponents are adjusting to these plays. Now, like I said, this play, more often than not, you're just going to run this as is, and then you guys are going to have pretty good effectiveness. Sometimes you got to kind of wait for a block and then creep up. But like I said as well, cover 2 is actually going to guard this fairly well, but we're still getting around 5, maybe 4 to 6, that type of area of range yardage, which is still really good when you're in the red zone inching closer. Because when we get closer to the end zone, we're going to call some other plays, and that's going to help you get into the end zone. Now, before we move closer to the end zone, we're going to talk about the actually, let's talk about the DB fire first before I move on. I don't want to get ahead of myself. If you guys are going up against a baseline pressed DB fire, against this run, you're still going to have success here with your bubble. So if I go ahead and just throw this and wait, more often than not, like I said, I think you're going to have pretty decent blocks here. Sometimes you won't, sometimes you do. If you want to run against DB fire, all you guys are going to do here is get ready for this left side slot to get through, and then just simply juke right off the bat. And then you guys are going to see, more often than not, if you guys are using jukebox or anything like that, you're absolutely going to have no problem getting past him and then getting some easy yardage. I don't have jukebox on Emmett. I just have reach for it and angry runs. But just know, if they are using DB fire, this can be a great way to kind of get around that slot blitzer and then just go ahead and juke back right to get upfield. You guys have seen me run this probably, actually, I think it's in the recent CFM video of the finale. I think I did it against the Rams. So this is something I love to do if I know they're going to be blitzing. Also tried to do it against K-Mac, but I got shedded on the back end of the play. So just know this is something I still run. I know in practice mode, some of these runs don't look the best with how good sheds are, but still, I do swear by them. Now, when it comes to the read Y flat, guys, it's very important to get your timing down on this throw. I like to throw these late. Now, basically, like I said earlier, once we press Y and then the right stick, we get that little boost of zoom. It's very important to kind of read when you are throwing this. I like to throw it right around this point. That way I have Debo there to block for me. Now I can throw this like 10 times, 10 out of 10. I'm going to get that same look. It's very consistent here against the cover 2. And this is just the stock cover 2 again. So if I just press and then pinch my D-line, I go ahead and audible here. We guys see when they pinch that D-line, that pass icon is over the top. Go ahead, just wait, throw here, and then we just kind of wait for Debo, and then we get a pretty decent play there. And like I said, if we're not getting into the end zone on that play, we're inching closer and closer and closer. And that's where I want to get to the 2 kind of run plays that I run when I'm this close to the end zone. And that is going to be, again, the bubble Y pop. I still run the read Y flat, but I do run the speed option more exclusively at this point of the field. And that's what I want to talk about here. Actually, I'll go ahead and do it right now. Now, when we get to the speed option, guys, this is not the best speed option in the game, but it is so damn good. Now, what's nice about this pitch play is you guys can run this to the left. You guys can run it to the right. You're going to flip it just like you would with your right stick on any type of like stretch play or anything like that. Same exact mechanic here. Now, because we are going to be doing the journal pitch, you guys need to know how to run it since I think like the October or November patch where they changed it. Guys, all you're going to do, this is going to be super easy. Once you snap the ball with A, immediately hold on to right trigger, okay? Then let off and then hit your Y plus LB or triangle plus L1 combo, okay? This is going to cancel out that type of the garbage update they did to try and fix it. So as you guys see here, if I go ahead hold or tap A and then A, hold, release, Y, LB. Just like that. I know it's a lot, but once you guys get a few snaps into it, you'll say, oh, okay, that's what collision means. Just snap while you're kind of holding right trigger and then let off, and then you guys can do your jump and hurdle button combos way easier, and they're not going to be as delayed as they are with that old update. And like I said, you guys can run this as well to the left side. I'll go ahead and try and find some footage and show it to you guys how I run this, just so you guys can see, because it is important to see it in game as well. And also sometimes in practice mode, man, the run sheds are just so nasty, they give no justification. And then finally, with this speed option, you guys can also just keep it with the quarterback. This is going to be good depending, like, I would say you want to keep it with the quarterback depending on, I'm not entirely sure when I say this, so take it with a grain of salt, but I think it's more based on if your opponent is crashing and things like that. That's when I would recommend keeping with the quarterback. It's like sometimes the blocks are perfect, sometimes they're not. Now, I have Troy Aikman here, which isn't like the best example, but you guys see, like, if that user were to swing out wide to guard the pitch, that's going to be a great play for you, where if they were to pinch and maybe, let's say, crash down and they press here, and I'm going to try and user both here. Let's say they try and play the pitch. You guys can kind of just go, and I know that looked like so dumb and so easy, but you guys get what I mean. There are going to be situations where you will keep it with the quarterback. If you guys are playing Mutt and you guys are using Truz or any type, I'm sure there's so many quarterbacks like Bo Jackson that get that stuff now. You guys are going to be using the QB keeper a lot more than what I'm giving it credit for, but the QB keeper is very, very good. Now, finally, the last play I want to talk about here is going to be the bubble Y pop, but throwing to the tight end. Now, I know, like I said, you guys can still run the bubble to the right. You guys can still run the flat with the Y flat option, but here against certain kind of inches defenses like 4-4 or goal line, I'll throw some clips here against K-Mac that we had in one of our recent matchups. This play can be phenomenal against an aggressive user. Now, I know in Mutt, everybody's going to have lurk artists, guys, but against something like, I'll go ahead and do goal line. Like I said, I'll show you guys in-game stuff as well, because it's important to show it against the user, just so you guys have context. But this throw can just be so easy and so guaranteed, and honestly, not really predicted. This isn't a throw I'm sure you guys have really seen. This is a throw I've never had against me. I know I sound like a moron, but I swear I'm the only guy that's really calling these plays, because I never see them. I just don't see them in game, and they are just phenomenal RPOs. So I want you guys to have them. I want you guys to know that you can use them against certain looks. Like I said, I'm really going to try and get some gameplay in here. I'm going to try and look through all my other clips to throw some together just so you guys can see them in action. But I know that goal line is very popular this year, as well as 4-4 for the kind of the inches part of the red zone, and it's definitely worth noting. Trying to think of anything else. I guess I'll go ahead and cover the slot offset RPOs as well. All right, guys, and then finally, before we wrap it up, we're just going to talk about the slot offset. Now, this is going to be the formation that houses the peak bubbles, the backfield ones where everybody swings. This is probably the RPO that majority of people know about, probably this in the wing slot, and this can give a lot of people trouble. Now, we're going to talk about a way to stop it. I have mentioned ways to stop it before, and I think for the sake of this video, because this isn't a defensive video, I'm going to leave that over on that video that we've already made. But I'll still talk about just one little thing if you guys are struggling against it. Now, this play, like I said, it's one of the RPOs that have been around for, well, they've been around for a while, but you know what I mean. They've been dominant for a long time. So we'll talk about all the various defenses you guys are going to see and how this kind of exploits them. Right here against the base cover 4, you guys are going to see that the pass option is actually the linebacker, and I think that's one of the reasons why so many people struggle against this, because they are playing the linebacker that is responsible for the pass. So you guys see it's not going to be a safety, but since he's in the middle of the field, he's not really around to make a play on the ball. And this is going to be really for any type of defense. If we go to a cover 2 here and we kind of press, do the same adjustment, you guys see right here, it's still the linebacker. If we were to kind of shift them and kind of do things like that, you guys see it is still the kind of middle linebacker of the field, which is it's not gonna help them out. So they need to, you know, make other adjustments to correct this type of open area of the field. Let me go back to the linebacker adjustments and fix this. But you guys see, even against a cover 2, because we have numbers on that side, it's going to be a great play right there. The baseline cover 2 actually did very well because he was out of alignment. But you guys know, for the most part, this is going to be a great run. I don't really run this one really at all. It's just not, it doesn't fit because it's the split close or whatever. So I don't really have too many hours or games with this one. But to counter it, what I want to talk about is, like we said earlier, one of the easiest ways you guys can stop these bubbles and swing throws is to kind of shift your linebackers to the side of the field that you know the ball is going. Now, the problem with this RPO is you also have a variant where it is the opposite halfback going in the other direction. So, for example, if I were to call an audible, I can have Henry on the swing and then have Emmett going on the inside. I talk about how to go over that in the other video, and I don't want this to be a defensive focused video. I just thought I'd throw this one in here just cause. But if you guys want to know how to guard it with that, just go check out that video, and it's going to have more time devoted to it. But a base setup you guys can do is, like we said earlier, if you guys just go ahead and shift to that RPO side and then go ahead and man him up to that outside receiver and then just kind of push him out a little further so he doesn't retract inside the box, get your gap shoot ready, you guys are going to see once we get those numbers over there, we can go ahead and scrape with the running back and make sure we kind of play him properly. And then if they want to go ahead and throw that ball, we're going to go ahead and have that extra defender over there who's you know, playing the role properly, even if we are the pass read icon. So you guys see right here, you guys see the pass icon is our user, but it just doesn't matter because we have that man assignment over there with our param. So if we go ahead and just move him out of the box, go ahead and snap throw this to the flat, you guys are going to see we're still going to have numbers over there helping us out getting the tackle. Right there, they actually did get a few yards. I probably could have pressed to help out picking up those blockers. I'll go ahead and show that now. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. But you guys see, we go ahead and bring this guy out. We'll go ahead, press, get our gap shoot ready, and then go ahead and throw this out to the swing back. And you guys see, we're there to go ahead and wrap up and make a play on the ball. So there's ways we can go around this, also just predicting where the user's going to juke and all that. But if you guys want a more intensive, you know, a breakdown of this, go check out the RPO defense video. I'll have that link in the description if you guys are interested in it. I just kind of want to focus on this video to be more of a offensive guide. So hope you all enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I know this wasn't a you know, a full spreadsheet of, you know, 20 different run plays. But because I am a more pass heavy guy, these, you know, maybe 4 to 5 runs are something that I know are tried and true. Love them. They're great play calls. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, fellas. Peace.